is the law that says life can only come from life. Louis Pasteur proved that 300 years ago. So the atheist wants to believe that spontaneous generation, which is basically life coming from non-life. It's also called autogenesis, or basically just put an A next to it. It's also called abiogenesis. But see, that's declared now to be obsolete. You can read about that in the McGraw-Hill Scientific and Technical Dictionary of Scientific and Technical Terms. Abiogenesis, since it was disproved, now is off the table of science. And it establishes the law that you can only get life from life. So the elephant in the room question is, where did life come from? See, since we know that life is now information directed, and even Einstein said that you cannot have matter never, in any case, can organize itself into instructional information, called the Einstein curve. So if you need information that requires coding, an information specialist named Werner Gitt basically put it this way. He said, if you have, first of all, you have to have an alphabet, then you have to have syntax, and then it gets to the level where you actually make a statement. But then it gets to the level after that where it actually goes on and there's an expected action, and beyond that there's an envisioned purpose. That's the highest level of information, and it has to come from intelligence, according to the information experts, especially Warren Gitt. I've got to put up for that. So here's the problem. Darwin didn't know about that. He didn't know about DNA. And so when you're holding to an atheistic paradigm that says, oh, I believe that somehow it all just happened by chance, well, that's not scientific. Because the law-like order is really the opposite of random.
To say is to go to the other extreme, say
yes.
Having a chance. I don't think that's fair.
Oh, well, how would you put it?
To say that things are happening by chance because you don't understand.
No, I didn't say that. No. Well, no, not that I don't understand it. You and I both understand that randomness is the opposite of law-like order.
My point is, neither one of us have the longevity to know what randomness actually is.
You don't need it. You know why? Because you can look at what causes information today. You can go and test it out anywhere. Where are you going to get an encoded language, like English or whatever, or the DNA code, with an expected action, with an envisioned purpose? Anytime you have that kind of instruction, say an encyclopedia or whatever, you can be sure it had to come from a mental source. I don't need longevity for that. I can test it out empirically today, right? And you can too. And she
some
can.
Things you can, some things you can.
Right? Yeah. It's a principle. It's called the scientific law of information. Basically, envision with an encoded language, expected action, envisioned purpose. That's how you get proteins. Proteins by the way, have to make DNA. Did you know that? But how do you get proteins? DNA has to give the instruction to make the proteins. So you have a chicken and egg problem here, you know? So what you need is you need to see that there's got to be an all or nothing answer as to how that information and how the complexity of the life-giving organism got there in the first place. And where you look now empirically and you try to find some way that could be ordered by randomness, you're just not going to find it. So, and you know, the problem is this. If you're just going to be honest, then you start looking at evidence like this. For instance, the fossils are one aspect where you can look and say, well, let me just see if I can get an answer from the fossils, because according to Darwin, there should be slow, gradual transitions that are found in the fossil record. He says he didn't find them, but he thought that would happen eventually. But here's an individual. He was an evolutionist, senior president in college at the British Museum of Natural History, Colin Patterson, responding to the reader's inquiry concerning the lack of transitional forms in his book, which he wrote called Evolution. He had to write back to the person who was objecting that there were no transitional forms in his book. I fully agree with your comments on the lack of direct illustration of evolutionary transitions in my book. If I knew of any, fossil or living, I would have certainly included them. You suggest that an artist should be used to visualize transformation, but where would he get the information?
One person can animate an argument?
This is the senior paleontologist with many others.
One person.
Oh no, there's an army. All you have to do is prove it. If he's making a statement like that, then I said, oh well, that's not true. Let me go ahead and find out. Oh, just a moment, sir.
I'll have time for some.
Well, I have a copy of this if you like it.